What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp here for the Fightful.com podcast, November 3rd edition. Not only are we joined by Matt Riddle, former UFC star and current Evolve star, he's got a new do. I like it. I'm digging it, Matt.
Yep, had the wife do it. Looks pretty sharp. Keeps the hair out of my face. Think I'm gonna rock it this weekend. You
never did that when you fought, though, did you?
My hair was never this long.
It's true. Interesting. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Way to switch things up.
It's always cool to stay fresh.
That's true. I can't exactly do it. My hair was kind of longer last year, but I get the widow's peak thing where the longer my hair is, the more bald I look, even though I'm not bald.
You got
You
got like the Vegeta going.
Yeah, there we go. How was your Halloween?
It was good, got the kids, went over to the little family party. Yeah.
Did you all hand out candy at all?
No, we live on a pretty, busy street, so I don't think there's too many trick-or-treaters. There's like a lot of neighborhoods around, so.
We live like right in the middle of our small town, like right in the middle of it, and we are the only a few of the other houses around us are vacant. We had some old people that lived there, and they just kind of passed away. They haven't been filled yet, so we were like one of 6 houses that handed out candy down this street. Either way, hey, Halloween running wild.
I'm more of a horror guy, so I watched a bunch of horror movies. The kids watched some horror movies. We ate a bunch of candy. We didn't go trick-or-treating. We just bought a bunch of candy and ate it. And we went to the Halloween party. So, it was a good time. Family enjoyed it.
I'm picky about my horror movies. Like, I like to watch horror movies that I believe feasibly the things that in that could happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not big into the witches and well, I'm big into zombies, but the dolls that come to life. What kind of stuff are you into?
I'm into anything, but it just has to be good. It has to be quality. It has to have a good storyline, and I'm definitely picky because if it's not believable or realistic, like I hate when cell phones just go out and stupid stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I like when there's a reason behind it. Like now, if you're like camping and your phone gets wet and it doesn't work, and then something goes down. That makes sense, or more survival based horror and stuff like that's pretty cool. And of course I like the supernatural stuff, like werewolves and shit like that. It's not realistic, but it's still cool to see.
I like the found footage stuff. Like I like the first couple of Paranormal Activities. I feel like if they could have condensed those into like 2 or 3 movies, they would have been real awesome. They stretched it out. You ever seen Hush?
I don't think I have.
Oh, you got to watch that. It's on Netflix. It's this woman who's deaf, and she's a victim of a home invasion.
Yes, I've seen it, and she can't talk.
Yeah.
And she can't leave the house.
Yeah, it's pretty legit, man.
Yeah, and then she's actually a psychopath, and she is talking, right? And she's doing whatever. Yeah. I saw
Pretty cool.
Pretty legit.
Couple other Netflix nuggets. Not Safe for Work. That movie's pretty good. And I watched that. This one isn't on Netflix, but that Don't Breathe movie that came out this year with the guy who was blind.
All right, I got
basically
one.
Horror movies with disabilities kick ass.
I got one for you, and if you watch it, you might hate me, but I thought it was brutal. It blew my tits off one night. It's called The Canal.
Never heard of it. I'm gonna type that down.
Nobody ever does. But it's legit. It's pretty it's pretty brutal.
I'm a big murder mystery guy anyway. Like I watch a lot of investigation discovery because when you work this kind of job, the last thing you want to do when you're off the clock is watch more wrestling and MMA. So I'm just like anything that happens to be on, and my wife watches investigation discovery a lot. So that got me into it. I'm going to check that out. The Canal.
The Canal, bro. That's scary.
Hot diggity damn.
You out.
Well, it looks like TNA is up the canal, the shit canal without a paddle. Have you seen all the stuff going on with them?
Well, I heard Billy. Billy isn't getting anything for his time, effort, and money, right? Or
He's gonna
is he?
get he's supposed to get his 1.8 million back, but he could also convert that into 36% ownership of the company. He was supposed to be paid back 2 days ago, and TNA didn't pay him back. They said, "Give us a day to get the money." He gave them the day. They didn't give him anything. Then the Fight Network's parent company issued Fightful.com a press release earlier today saying TNA is going to keep going. We will fund them. Billy Corgan is out of the company. And Billy Corgan said, wait a second, guys. I haven't been paid my money back. I might take 36% ownership from you asshats. And he's kind of leaving it up there.
Huh.
As an independent wrestler, now I'm not trying to cost you a job or anything, but you see something like that, what does that make you think as a potential employer, as somebody who could potentially employ you?
Well, as in my position in professional wrestling at this moment, which I love, I don't think too much of it. Now if I wanted to seek employment there, or even the WWE, or those two places, I would be kind of worried. But at the moment, with the Flow deal and everything that's going on with that, and with the WWE, and there's everything else, I know I'm definitely in the right place, especially when I see things like this happening. I know I bet on the right horse.
Seems like it. The TNA talents that I spoke to are happy.
But Ring of Honor is still doing good.
Yeah, they are. And
Yeah.
I've heard that they may I hope they end up on Flow, because $45 for a pay-per-view today when WWE's doing them for 10, that's tough, man.
It's tough, and they got a great market and a good following. And the thing with Ring of Honor is they definitely want to own their brand and do their thing and make it. But I think they're doing the right thing. They're doing what's good for Ring of Honor, I think, at the moment.
Yeah, I just think it's tough to pay that price when the biggest company in the world is charging $10. Now, a lot of people have said stuff like, I saw a lot of people bitching, complaining about Flow Sports being $20, and I'm like, not for me. That's a deal, because pushing that technically they're a competitor, but they're in a kind of a little different thing than Fightful. But you get like Flow Combat and Flow Wrestling and Flow Grappling and Flow Slam for that $20. And I mean,
Yeah.
I have friends that fight on Flow Combat. So I mean, that's
I'm not gonna lie. I talked to Jeremy with Flow Sports the other day.
Jeremy Potter.
Yep, talked to him last night about a possible grappling match.
Ooh.
And it would be big. It would be
breaking news here.
It would be big. I can't. I don't even know if I should have went even that far. Probably shouldn't have said anything. But I was like, talked to him last night, threw out a couple names. I said yes to both the names offered. Hopefully.
One of those names offered.
I'd rather not. Save that for next Thursday. But
yeah,
Flow's legit. They got a lot of different avenues, and good for me. I'm good at a bunch of the avenues they do. So if I can get on 8 different Flow channels, that would be
definitely. Are you gonna get into marching band stuff?
The marching band. I don't know if I'm at that level yet.
You could be like Nick Cannon in that Drumline movie.
I might try out. I think they have to have like a parkour channel, and if they don't, I'll pitch it to them.
Do you do parkour?
I don't, but I bet I could. but yeah, it's fun stuff.
This comes you keep touting this hypothetical 630 that you can do that I've never seen you do either.
Oh, never seen me do. You know what? I could probably take some footage for sure. I should probably do that one of these days, just so the peeps can know.
Yeah, people got to know.
So the bro and broettes know what the bro can do. The king of bros can do.
Exactly.
I'm not just some dude sitting on wrestling mats doing podcasts. I can do 630s and shit.
I wish I was sitting on wrestling mats. I'm upstairs and I have some out in my gym.
I mean, I'm upstairs. I'm upstairs in my office, and I got a Steam machine, like a PS4, got the virtual reality thing, sound system, got the TV, got a desk, file cabinet, safe, some glassware. I have the
old porno casting couch over here.
Classy.
I'm not really an agent, and there is no job couch over there.
And I have the beanbag chair. Right now, it's propped up like a chair. And sometimes I lay it down like a bed. Sometimes I have it as a love seat. It's very versatile.
Over there, I've got like another set of screens with a chair. And one day, somebody saw all the chairs I had, and they assumed that I was working out of a leather chair emporium. But all my wrestling mats are out in the. Got a gym out back. Got them out there, but. I don't got the setup. I can't sit around and stretch like you do all day. I need to do that.
It's a lot more convenient. I can stretch the back out. And the big thing is not even the back. You can get and stretch the back out while you're sitting, but your back always feels tight.
Yeah.
What it is your hips. You got to stretch those hips out. It's hard to stretch a hip out while you're just sitting there well.
I started to do a hip stretch where I push down. I lay flat on my back, put my heels to my ass, and you push downward on your hips.
Oh,
man, that helps.
The lower
back. Good on the lower back. Also, news this week: Ronda Rousey says that this fight will be one of her last. This isn't a big surprise, man.
One of her last. Well, good for her. I honestly think she could probably fight longer, but it's kind of a smart move, health-wise. If you don't have to fight a whole career.
Sure.
Or maybe, maybe she's going to go down different avenues. I think I heard something about Stephanie McMahon possibly pursuing Ronda if she leaves.
She wants to.
And, and I think Ronda would probably give it a try. I know her buddy Shayna Baszler does it. And
Shayna Baszler just had a tryout.
Yeah, I saw that as well, So maybe they're just going to bring those 4 horsewomen in and just make it all sorts of crazy.
I've been nagging Jessamine Duke, one of the 4 horsewomen, to do pro wrestling literally since I met her. She lived maybe an hour away from me, and I was like, listen, if this MMA thing doesn't work out, you're 6 feet tall. You're in really, really good shape. You used to do some modeling. Maybe pro wrestling would be something you'd be interested in. As it turns out, she ended up hooking up with Shayna and Ronda. And from what I understand, WWE has retained interest in her. So that'd be 3 of the 4.
Well, I would imagine they would take at least 3 or all 4 of them, because why wouldn't you? That's just a money move,
Well, number 4 is pregnant right now with Roderick Strong's kid.
Oh, so that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So they're all gonna collect a check. So that's legit.
Yeah,
for them.
So you got Ronda Rousey, who
she's smart. That's a smart move.
Yeah, she called WWE tomorrow. Ronda Rousey's there.
In there,
Oh man. Yeah, you know what? He's big too.
He's huge. He's 7 feet tall. He's actually a big mixed martial artist.
Yeah, he's 6'7", so they would bill him at 6'10", 6'11".
He can wear boots.
Yeah, just as long as they don't have that turd Edmund in there.
Then again, I don't know. If somebody throws a drop kick at him, he'll probably go unconscious.
Got him. He didn't go out from Verdum's.
Yeah, but bro,
he just took it like a dumbass.
Bro, he was wobbled. He stumbled around for a little bit afterwards.
Can you believe that shit landed?
I can. I saw it. But, he didn't expect it. But, dude, that's the story he'll probably have to tell when he starts pro wrestling. He'll do his MMA stuff, and then dudes will hit him with pro wrestling stuff.
Oh, God.
How it works.
So Ronda Rousey, she can go to the WWE whenever the hell she wants. That's the good thing about her. Shayna has been training, and I mean Shayna's background, she trained under Billy Robinson and Josh Barnett. So she has a pro wrestling training background as well. Jessamine has trained a little bit. Adam Cole told me that he offered to train her just flat out. Like he threw the offer out.
Just train her flat out, no big deal.
Yeah, and when I told him as soon as he told me that, I was like, Jessamine, what the hell? What gives here? But and then Marina Shafir is engaged and going to have Roderick Strong's kids. So the 4 horsewomen now more involved in pro wrestling than ever before. Now, when Ronda says things like, this is going to be one of my last fights, that automatically means she does have a foot out the door. What is your take psychologically on someone who does have that foot out the door but has a fight scheduled, and a giant one at that?
I think she might pull out of the fight.
Really?
Possibly. Well, because if she doesn't win and gets beat up, she's going to be worth less money.
Yeah.
And that's
well,
just,
I can say
that's just common. That's just common sense.
I can say this: her getting her ass kicked caused more interest in her than I've seen her ever have. But if it happens again,
it'd be hard to sell. So, like I think now if she goes out on a win, she's the champ, right? She's fighting the champion.
Well, she didn't say it was going to be her last fight. She said it was going to be one of her last.
Okay.
She said before she doesn't want to fight into her 30s, and she doesn't consider 30 her 30s. She considers like 31 and up her 30s. Now, she'll be at that in about a year and a half. So that's Ronda Rousey. That's probably 2 or 3 more fights.
I'm confused about that.
Hey,
I'm going to retire when I'm in my 30s. Not when I'm 30. Yeah. Like 31. Like that's the 30s.
But even if she did, and she was like at 34, she said, I want to come back. Well, there's another 5 to 7 million for you.
Yeah.
These fighters are taking it into their own hands now, and I think it's great.
Well, they're selling tickets and they're worth money. The biggest thing for Rousey, though, to stay valuable, she really needs to win this fight. There's a lot of pressure on her for that. I would imagine there's a lot of pressure. If I was Ronda Rousey, I would feel the pressure because, granted, you're fighting.
We lost Matt.
No. You lost me?
Message Matt here. Oh, are you there now?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
We lost you for a second.
Oh, man.
You sound devastated.
I'm furious. What happened?
I don't know. It's that Washington State internet, I guess.
Oh, it's shit here, bro. It's horrible.
And it's pretty awesome here. I was about to move to a different city, moved to the city where I grew up in, which is a much bigger city than where I live. George Clooney lived there, grew up there. It's a decent sized city. And the internet is trash in that town. I literally couldn't move to this city because the internet is so trash and I couldn't do my job.
I hate trash internet. Hate it.
Pisses me to hell off.
I know when I moved to Pennsylvania back here, I got bamboozled into that Dish Network internet service.
Oh, no! With those crappy data caps and all that stuff?
I got rid of it, got some normal internet. I haven't looked back since. I was at
Time Warner. I'm pretty thrilled with Time Warner, my friend.
I don't know what I have, if I have like Blue Ridge or Time Warner or something like that. It's one of the big players, one of those guys.
Yeah, it's Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey's taking her destiny sort of into her own hands. Like she's going to dictate a lot of money no matter what. WWE, movies, UFC.
The movies, yeah, everything. She's valuable. She can thank the UFC for that. I mean, granted, she won the fights, but I mean, she ran with the ball. But at the same time, like they put her in place, and she did her job. So.
Showdown Joe and I speculated last night. She's a much bigger star than Gina Carano, and Gina Carano is doing fine in the movies.
I know. She was an X-Men.
Yeah.
Amongst other films.
Yeah, one of the
It's
Fast and the Furious movies. She was in Haywire. She's been in a lot of stuff.
and the thing is, she
And
doesn't even really do any acting. It's more like
she doesn't talk.
she's a decent looking face that throws some kicks.
No, she
So
was in Deadpool. That's what she was in.
oh yeah, that's what. Well, that's like what Marvel.
That movie was awesome.
Yeah, I like Deadpool. That was a good one. It's classy.
Triple H dressed up as Deadpool for Halloween. Would you buy him as a Deadpool?
Nope. Nope.
Me either. I would love to see Triple H cut a Deadpool promo.
He could probably do it. He's a professional.
Yeah,
He's been around the business too long not to be able to just cut a promo at any time when he wants.
So shit's getting real in the UFC. People are getting laid off. As I mentioned, you got people like Ronda Rousey, Conor McGregor taking bookings into their own hands. A guy by the name of Donald Cerrone said in an interview yesterday, I'm not saying that this isn't a direct quote, but he basically said, I don't give a shit. I'll head up a fighters union. I'm not scared of these guys. What does that say to you that somebody like Donald Cerrone is willing to do that? Because he really doesn't give a shit. We know that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's probably the coolest thing I've ever heard Donald Cerrone say. But yeah, I mean, I wish more people would stand up. I think that was my problem. I think that's like John Fitch. That was John Fitch's problem because, I think there's a lot of stuff that happens behind closed doors that people don't know about, and you talk and and you maybe share opinions and how you see the view of the company going or whatever, and then before you know it, you're fired. And it seems like if you have a difference of opinion, they find one way or another to get rid of you. And
yeah, I agree. I think
but then again, I'll say this: like, if you're valuable to them, even if you're talking poorly, like they'll keep you on board. Like, because you look at guys like the Diaz brothers. They failed drug tests. They talk negatively about the commissions and everybody else, and they still have jobs, and there's nothing against. I like the Diaz brothers, but at the same time, they put asses in seats. I'll be honest, when they fired me, I wasn't, even though I was on a 4-5 win streak, I wasn't putting the same amount of asses in those seats, so they got rid of me. And
a lot of times when you do speak out, that it does cause that cult following.
Yeah,
like if the Diaz brothers never said a word, then I don't think they'd be nearly as popular, because there are a lot of fighters that go out and fight like they do, but they're not as outspoken as the Diaz brothers.
Well, I think there's a difference. I think the big thing with the Diaz brothers is they've paid their dues, kind of like in professional wrestling. If you go right to the Performance Center and get a push in the NXT, it's like, it's one thing. It's kind of hard to make your name, but like, even in the MMA world, if you fought in Pride and you fought in Strikeforce and you fought in Elite XC and you fought in Japan and all over the world and in the UFC, and you're back in the UFC, and then you got a brother that, fights too, and he won the Ultimate Fighter, right?
Yeah.
Stallion, and he's done very well for himself. He's beaten Gomi and other notable fighters, So it's like, it's not only one fighter, it's brothers, and they've traveled all around the world, and they train with some of the best practitioners in the world, there's a lot of variables that make the Diaz brothers just in them talking, because there's also a lot of fighters that say they smoke pop, but they don't have to get the same pop either. There's a lot that goes into the 209,
Now, to be fair, when you cut that promo on Dan Hardy, I mean, that made me a big fan of yours. I'm not gonna say, oh, I didn't give a shit about Matt Riddle before then. I knew you from what I thought it was my favorite season of The Ultimate Fighter. But when you cut that promo, I was like, man, I care about Matt Riddle a lot more now. I want to watch him fight. Not only that, I want to watch him fight in England again. Did you see that once you did that? Could you tell a difference, or was it just not noticeable?
No, definitely. But the thing was, that was probably the first time in my entire career in the UFC that they actually gave me a chance to talk in front of all forms of media after a big pay-per-view fight. before that, I had like my 1 minute interview that went on UFC.com with Ariel Helwani. And don't get me wrong, it got a lot of views, like thousands and thousands of views, but it wasn't like talking in front of like every single camera in front of the world champion, everybody there, and you're on the main stage at a pay-per-view, first time in Calgary, big event, all the media is there, like that's a big deal. And then, a lot of people kind of like be quiet under that pressure. And then to speak and say what I did, and yeah, but I don't know. It's just I feel like you got to feel it, and at the same time, it's like opportunity is king. Like imagine if I had all 12 of my fights in the UFC and I got that opportunity to talk like that.
Yeah,
I guarantee you I'd have a lot of fans. But the UFC would rather just rush one fight in, rush the next one out,
Shit, I wish they did that today because their pacing is terrible.
Maybe what they need to do is let people talk a little bit. And then if the guy's good, like give him a couple chances. And if he's good, let him go. If not, just give him a short amount of time.
I wonder why they don't do the thing like,
because that'd build fans, because the thing is they don't let anybody connect with the fans. And that's what even Pride did. Pride was like raw. It was uncensored, the guys were themselves, and like they just like Rampage swore and did his thing. It was Rampage, And of course, when he came to the UFC, he was Rampage, but he's definitely a toned down Rampage from the one in Pride.
Yes.
Pride Rampage was some hood shit, So like Rampage in America, still pretty gangster. But definitely not like the promos weren't the same, the talk wasn't the same, the fighting was the same, if not better. But you know what I mean. And I think with that, you build a character, you build a legend, and the UFC right now has only allowed certain people to go off the chain, like Conor McGregor and a Ronda Rousey. And and I wouldn't even say Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey earned that. She really fought, she just picked through everybody in like 10 seconds. She looked unstoppable like Superwoman for so long. And technically, she's only got that one loss. She might knock this girl out in a minute. She might suplex this girl in armbar. She
does have some knockout power too. People forget about that. She's
really good. Like she hits hard. She's really athletic. So
when Holly Holmes says that that's one of the hardest she's ever been hit, that says something. Because Holly Holmes been hit pretty damn hard.
Yeah, she's a professional kickboxer and boxer, world champion. So
we have some news about The Undertaker.
Good or bad?
He's going to make a WWE appearance on November 15th. Now, we don't know if it's televised or not.
The way you said that, you made it sound like we have news about The Undertaker. I was like, oh, my God.
No, it's going to be in Pennsylvania of all places.
What?
In Wilkes-Barre?
Right in my backyard of Pennsylvania, across the country from Washington?
Yeah. It's on November 15th, and it's for SmackDown's 900th episode. Now, we don't know if it'll be televised or not. They might just be bringing him there to fill up the house. But even more surprising, he showed up at a Cavs game backstage in full gear. Did you see that?
No.
He was just chilling backstage at the Cleveland Cavs Quicken Loans Arena because LeBron James is a big wrestling fan.
Okay.
So, like, him, his wife, Ultimate Warrior's wife were just there, and I don't know if they just had him there for decoration, like what the hell he was doing, but he just had hip surgery, and he was walking around without a cane. So apparently he's doing okay.
Yeah, I guess so.
You gonna go hit up SmackDown that night?
Probably not.
Where's that? How far is that from you?
That's not far. I mean, other than like the drive across country, it's probably like 30 minutes.
Really? 30 minutes?
34. Dude, they were just Dean Ambrose went against AJ Styles Sunday night at the PP&L Center.
If the guy who played the fake Undertaker showed up a half an hour from me, I'd go watch it.
Dude, I have the benefit of living in the Northeast where wrestling is king.
That's true. That's very true.
Dude, it's the Beltway, bro. They love the wrestling.
That's true. Are you surprised the Undertaker is making another appearance? Like this point of the year, we didn't know he was pulled off of a ton of European shows. He hasn't appeared since WrestleMania, and he was yanked from the European tour. So people didn't know what the hell was going on with him. But it seems like everything's okay now.
Yeah, I mean, if he like the thing is, if he wants to work and he's feeling healthy, he should, you know. And I think with a guy like that, you only have so many matches in you, so you just want to like, you know, get what you can in. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't blame him. And he probably sees guys like, you know, unfortunately, like Daniel Bryan and others that can't work anymore, wrestle anymore, that would love to. And he's like, if I can, you know, pop a crowd and make some money and, you know, work again, I should probably do it. You know?
Definitely. John Lineker versus TJ Dillashaw looks like it's going to be on UFC 207. That's a pretty good bantamweight fight.
That's a very good bantamweight fight.
I like the idea of that because if Cruz or Garbrandt, well, if Garbrandt gets hurt, you have somebody to throw in that main event. You have somebody to face Cruz.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Also, something I noticed, I haven't been watching The Ultimate Fighter. I don't watch The Ultimate Fighter anymore. Nobody gives a shit about the show.
Don't blame me, bro.
No. And apparently they're going to do like an All-Stars season next year. That would be cool. But I look at the flyweight results and like all of like it's 8 of the 9 fights that have happened so far in a flyweight tournament are all finishes. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Well, I think they're all champions, right?
Yeah, they're all regional champions.
Yeah.
I think that's how it should be.
Well, that's what happens when everybody's a champion, usually. And I think a lot of those guys are undefeated, too.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah. Somebody's
cool with it.
The thing is, I'll be honest, before you lose a fight, you feel unstoppable. Like until you feel somebody beat you up a little bit, you feel like you just can't get beat up. Like before the Ultimate Fighter, before I fought Tim Fedor, I was like, nobody can beat me up. And then like I broke that one dude's jaw, and I'm like, yeah, definitely nobody can beat me up now. You know, well, I was really green. And then I fought Tim, and I did well. And then I remember he swept me at the end of round 1 and laid some elbows into the side of my head and nose. And I was like, shit, like, this is a fight, you know. And then second round was good, but then he caught me with an arm bar, and that's just how she goes, you know.
To be fair, I thought you killed Dan Simler, was it? I thought he died.
I kind of did. I feel bad still for you, Dan.
What was the toughest, like the most, I don't want to say physically helpless because I don't see you being physically helpless, but like was there a fight that you had that like in the middle of a fight you're just like, I'm not winning this one?
You know, when I fought Nico Sipsak in England, I'll be honest, I didn't really train that hard for it. I was like, this dude's from England. He can't do anything. And, you know, and I'm not even kidding. Like, I really half-assed. I ate a lot of Velveeta. And then to top it off, I was sick for the fight. Everything that could have went wrong. Jet lagged. Everything in England and Manchester. Fans spitting on me. Just awful.
Spitting in you?
Spitting in me, penetrating me with their spit. But that fight, I remember first round felt fine, strong, dominant. Second round, I felt like everything was rubber. I couldn't do anything. And it was just a combination of me not training good, me not eating good, me not sleeping good, me not doing anything properly. And then, like I said, the night of the fight, like, the day after weigh-ins, I still weighed like 167. Like I lost weight after weigh-ins. Like I just wasn't.
Damn.
I wasn't myself. But that was probably the only time I ever felt helpless in a fight. In practice, I felt helpless against like heavyweights. You know, like certain heavyweights have my number. You know, and then there's yeah, that's about it. And do you know who else was really strong? Probably the best guy I've ever went with in practice. Way better in practice than he is in a fight, and he's still really good in fights.
Who's that?
CV Dalloway.
Really?
CV Dalloway will beat your ass in practice. He'll be well. And I'm not saying he wouldn't beat my ass in a fight. He's good, you know. But like, I think it might be style wise too. His ground and pound is vicious. Like, you know, like he really he's strong and he knows what he's doing. So yeah. He was supposed to fight not too long ago, and the elevator crashed and he hurt his back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
That sucks for him, you know. Like I'm pretty sure he just had a kid too, and his.
I think he's still got his. I think he's still got his show money. I don't know though, but he's riding a 3-fight losing streak. So
hey, well, hopefully he doesn't get fired because they're laying people off. Then again, CB goes out there to bang. He's been there since forever, since 2008.
Yeah, but he's had like one of those fights. Like he's had like one like really like breathtaking victory in like I think 6 years.
This is all you need. He's gonna pull out like a Peruvian necktie his next fight. People are gonna go insane. He's gonna flex hella hard and cut a promo, and he's probably gonna get a title shot against this thing. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he'll be like USA, bro. Dude, he'll be the coach on the Ultimate Fighter.
I will eat cat shit if he gets the title.
Dude, I hope he goes on a 3-fight tear. I hope he goes on a 3-fight tear. This thing vacates the title and they don't know what to do.
Man. Well, Bisping might vacate. I don't know. By the way, Luke Rockhold got hurt. He's out of his fight with Jacare after all that shit that Luke Rockhold's been talking about. Michael Bisping being soft and all that stuff. Now he pulls out of his fight.
I'll tell you this 100%. I'll be honest, me and my wife, we watched some bad TV. We watched The Millionaire Matchmaker.
Oh,
and
no.
Luke Rockhold was on The Millionaire Matchmaker.
Really?
Yes. Because
like him or somebody who looked like him?
No, him. Like, I'm professional UFC fighter Luke Rockhold. The Millionaire Matchmaker came to him because he's looking for love. Whatever.
I bet he is.
So basically, he brings this girl onto his yacht and tries to like bang her instantly, like a piece of trash. Like he's like, you got a sweet body.
Why does it make him a piece of trash?
Because you're on TV and you're paying somebody because you're looking for love. If you're not looking for love, you shouldn't be fucking at a matchmaker. You should just be at the bar or club like everybody else. Especially if you have a yacht and you're a UFC fighter, Luke Rockhold. He doesn't. Do you think dude has an 8-pack and is the world champion at the time of the show?
What's all scripted? It is.
I think it's not scripted. It's definitely edited. And he was less than a favorable character, and she refused to show him any more ladies.
What's the point in owning a yacht if you're not going to try to get butt on the yacht?
Dude, I don't. Hey,
water.
Hey, I don't blame that. But I was like, the thing that got me is I'm big online. And what he did was lie to the ladies that I'm looking for love and to settle down. And then he like basically tried to bang the chick. I'm pretty sure he did too, because he is, you know, she was on the yacht. He's a UFC fighter. The implications, she couldn't say no. I don't know if you ever seen Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Well, he's dating that pop star now, Demi Lovato.
Bro, exactly. He was just trying to get on TV and get some tail and tell people he was a millionaire. It was a douchey move, and he acted like a douche the whole time. That's all I'm saying.
As I look this up,
it's just karma. It's karma, and he talks shit. He got knocked out by Bisping. He's just riding the karma train.
As I look this up, it was taped in 2014, so it's been a while back. He wasn't with Demi Lovato yet.
Yeah, and he was the champion, right?
No, not then.
So he was just a millionaire.
I doubt he was really a millionaire at that point.
Well, he comes from a pretty good family, I think.
Oh, does he? Well, then maybe he does.
Because, like,
he strikes me as the kind of guy that would come from money.
Yeah, like I think his dad's like a pro athlete, and his like brother's a pro athlete, like pro surfer, and like everybody in his family, they're all from California. That's what I heard. I heard a rumor, I didn't wiki it, or I don't know, or Google search it. You know.
We'll have to do the Wikipedia true or false with you sometimes. That's one of my favorite things to do with people on shows is
I
go through their
bet.
Wikipedia and find out what's real. Thus
Oh,
far,
there's so much stuff
zero
wrong.
of them have been completely true.
Of course.
That I've done.
I don't know who does them. You know, I appreciate the time and effort, but I feel like anybody can just suggest stuff.
Oh, they can. One time I tried to convince my wife that the Miz had a twin brother named Mark Mizanin who took over for him, and then I edited his Wikipedia page to say it to convince her. She didn't buy it, but yeah. You can change anything.
That's pretty legit. That's hardcore. I wonder if he changed it back.
Well, they did almost immediately.
Oh.
So one time I asked EC3 of TNA, because his listed weight on Wikipedia was 246 pounds. And he was like, I have never been above 225 pounds. And that's when I'm like on a vacation binge drinking. So then after we published that and he revealed he's never been above 225, somebody went in and made it 252. So you never know with Wikipedia.
I don't know what he's billed at. You're saying EC3. That dude looks like he's like 260.
He looks like he's 252.
Yeah, he's like very, jacked and vascular. So it's
he's jacked.
Somebody said
he's super
like,
jacked.
So he's like, oh, he's 250. I'm like, yeah, that's believable.
Well, he said that Jeremy Borash always like announces him at 250, and he's like, just say I'm 225. I'm jacked. Just say what I am. It doesn't matter. So, hey, whatever.
He keeps it lean. He keeps it lean.
Yeah. Bro. Did you happen to check out the Sasha Banks Charlotte match Sunday?
I did.
What'd you think of it?
It looked dangerous, but it was decent. It was good. I personally, I'm a big fan of Charlotte, not a big fan of Sasha, but I think they're like, they have chemistry, and when they work, they have good matches. I thought it was really, it was pretty good. I don't know if it should have been the main event of the show. I thought Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens did a pretty good job.
They had a great match.
Yeah, and especially for Seth Rollins, it's been a while since I feel like he had the best match of the night on the show and deserved it. And I think that was that night. I guess it really doesn't matter what part of the card you're on, but yeah, it was definitely a main event worthy match. It was pretty good. They lived up to the hype. The finish was a little anticlimactic.
Was weird.
Right? What was it? A power bomb and a 1-2-3 or something?
She just tossed Charlotte repeatedly into a table, then hit the natural selection and won.
So she tossed Sasha around all over the place and hit the natural selection and won.
Yep. In Sasha's hometown. Kind of weird. Apparently, they went back and forth on whether it should be the main event, how the finish should happen, who should win, and it wasn't even decided until that weekend.
Well, that's whatever,
Charlotte's got the winning streak on pay-per-view. They can build that. I like that. But you mentioned the Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens thing. How impressive was that power bomb that Rollins did where he deadlifted the dude? They messed it up. I thought they were going to have to do a Styles Clash or something. And then Rollins is like, nope, you're coming back up here, buddy. And just threw up that beautiful power bomb.
The athleticism was very good. Kevin Owens selling is very good. Jericho's involvement, I don't even like Jericho's work lately, as a wrestler. Everybody has their own opinion, But his work with Kevin Owens has been making me a fan lately of his wrestling and the way how well he's able to just throw his little stuff in there and there and there. It's just so cheap, but it's also good and fast and effective,
And the people love him on the mic these days.
He's got a good thing going. The other day, I think I saw him stomping Seth Rollins while they're hugging each other. It was hilarious. They're like hugging and they're like throwing back stomps and stomping side by side. It was great, you know. And I mean, and like I said, I like Jericho's work. I've been liking it lately, and I liked it when he was younger. There was like a little gap where I was like, oh, it's Jericho, you know.
What do you think of this new cruiserweight show WWE announced? Did you hear about it?
I didn't. Tell me more.
Tuesday nights, right after SmackDown on the WWE Network, a show called 205 Live. 205 references the 205-pound weight limit. They are going to have a cruiserweight show every week. They're going to fly these guys into SmackDown. They're going to either tape it there or run it live. I'm going to get a couple of the names here. Let's see. Here are the names announced for the show. Brian Kendrick, TJ Perkins, Rich Swann, Noam Dar, Ho Ho Loon, Cedric Alexander, Lindsay Dorado, Grand Metalik, Tozawa, Jack Gallagher, Gerv Shearer, and Harv Shearer.
Cool.
They're not doing shit with them on Mondays. Do you think they will on Tuesdays?
I think they are. I don't know what they're doing with the cruiserweights. All those guys are really good wrestlers, and they're not using them properly. But they got so much going on. I don't think they know what to do with them now. They picked up all this great talent, and I don't think they know how to promote it. Yeah, I don't know. I hope it works out great. They're all great wrestlers. They have like Brian Kendrick and TJP have been having good matches. Cedric's been having good matches. I think the part that's losing people is how they only wrestle one another. Because, I don't like that. There's been small guys in the WWE before that just wrestle big guys. So I don't know why you wouldn't mix it up with the cruiserweights. What I believe is there should be a cruiserweight division. Maybe have the cruiserweight title only defended at the 205, and only have cruiserweight matches at the 205. But I still think they should have cruiserweights on Raw or SmackDown or both.
Like to use it to promote the 205 show?
Yeah, and I don't know why. I don't know why you wouldn't. That just really doesn't make sense to me. Because I don't know if they're trying to do like a lower weight class and different brand, but I feel like that's not going to sell. It's like you wouldn't just start a new women's wrestling league, would you? And not do any.
Well, DDP's kid and Hulk Hogan's kid and Lacey Von Erich want to. Man, that's going to suck. The daughters of all these wrestlers are saying, oh, we're going to start up a women's promotion. Yeah, let me know how that works, guys.
Well, there's already a women's promotion that's probably more successful than all of them. That's like Shine.
Shine and Shimmer and all kinds of places.
And there's the female wrestling in Japan is the best. So it's like there's a lot of great wrestling, female wrestling all over,
Apparently, reports surfaced that Tony Nese and Drew Gulak, despite appearing on Raw, are still under Evolve contract. Okay. In that same report, it said that you are under Evolve contract. Are you?
I am now.
What does that entail? What does that prevent you from doing or allow you to do?
I can do whatever the fuck I want, bro.
You can even say fuck on the air.
I can, right? This isn't it's podcast, bro.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. It basically entails that I work for Flow. I can work for them I work for them when they ask me to, and I can work anywhere else. I can even work for other places as long as they say I can, Of course, there's a couple companies that they don't want me to work for, but WWE isn't one of them, and all the indies for the most part, all the big indie companies I want to work for aren't on that list. And the only real two companies are Ring of Honor and probably TNA. And I would imagine under right circumstances, you could probably make that work too, because they're very understanding. But at the same time, I am under contract with Evolve. I actually just signed the contract yesterday, and it's a good time getting paid.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Breaking news from Matt Riddle on today's
Yeah,
show.
I guess a lot's been going on. I've been taking care of these fights in China that are happening. Getting flights booked for London and England, and just been doing a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just been busy.
I like it. I like it.
I got my hair done, did.
That's the main thing. Priorities.
You got to take care of yourself too.
That's true. You big into the hair and nail supplements? You do those?
No, not at all. I take Juice Plus. It's like some just everyday supplements. It's basically like your green powder or your red powder you would get to take your greens and your reds. So I take that. I take some ultra cordyceps, and that's about it.
So that's all you take?
Just natural. That's how I stay Debo.
Speaking of cordyceps, your boy.
That's it. You're on it.
Take that shroom tag. Hey, I'm trying to get back in the ring too. I got to get in shape. Now that Alex, I tweeted the other day, we got a guy starting full time next week. I'm excited that he's starting full time because it'll give me time to do cardio, but that kind of makes me wish that he wasn't starting full time because I don't want to do cardio. So.
No.
What's your weekend like, Matt? What you got coming up?
Oh, big weekend. Huge weekend. Gonna be going to Cleveland, Ohio this weekend for AIW.
Nice.
I mean, Shayna Baszler probably is there, I think. And I know last time Ronda Rousey was there as well. But also Travis Brown was fighting and CM Punk and all that malark. So, they're on the card. I'm tagging up with my boy Hot Sauce, and that's a Friday, Saturday tag team extravaganza of sorts at AIW. And then Sunday, 3 for this weekend. Sunday, Wrestling for Beyond. And I think I forget the name, but it's a tournament. It's in Providence, Rhode Island. And it's a tournament. I'm wrestling Chris Dickinson first round.
So you might do like a 5 for.
Oh, match-wise, yeah. Well, yeah, if I, win everything, which I plan on doing, I'm probably going to have, like 10 matches. Whatever, no big deal. But yeah, it's all good.
If you win the tournament, you need to recreate the infamous photo of you and John Jones where you're standing on the top of the podium and he's, down in, the third one. Tournament victory for Matt Riddle.
Could you imagine if I grappled John Jones? Imagine if that was one of the names. That'd be crazy.
How do you think that would go for you?
I think it would go fine. It's jiu-jitsu. It's not like you can whip an elbow or kick off my face, bro.
Brendan Schaub shut down the top grappler in the world, and people were pissed at him for it.
Dude, grappling's different. Now, granted, John Jones has a high-level wrestling game, so the probability of us both staying on our feet, because I can wrestle pretty good too, is probably. I don't think we're gonna stay up too long. I think it's gonna be a scramble, what have you. I see some hand fighting, some stuff like that. But I think I'd do well. I think I would do really well. I think a lot of people would think I'd get smoked. And, that'd be really good for me.
I'm sure people would think that you would get smoked because it's John Jones.
Well, that's how it works. But that's just, that would never happen. Even though I did technically beat him twice in high school.
Did you?
Rather, yeah.
I didn't know if maybe you all missed each other in the tournament or
We did miss, but I did place higher than him twice, and I pinned the guy who beat him, and beat the guy on points that beat him. It was the same guy twice that beat him, and I beat the guy twice.
Well, guys, we have Bellator 163 tomorrow night. We have the UFC. McGregor-Alvarez conference call here in about an hour for those of you watching live.
Conference call with McGregor?
Yeah, so I wanted your thoughts on this quickly.
Then again, we are on the podcast.
What do you think the odds are? Yay or nay, Conor McGregor makes fun of Eddie Alvarez and says that he has T-Rex arms.
I think Conor McGregor is going to say a lot of stuff. I think that might be one of the things.
I'm going for that one. Alvarez has a 69-inch reach.
I think he's gonna call him a broke mutt and probably be like, "Oh, I'm gonna make your career. You shut your mouth. You know, you have respect for me. I'm the king. You know." And he'll probably like talk like that, like he's great.
He is. On conference calls, he's great.
That's how he's gonna talk, and it's gonna be like, "Bro, you're a piece of trash."
Why do you think he's a piece of trash?
Because like this is the thing. Like I love fighting, I love that, and like the thing is like if Conor McGregor called Eddie Alvarez and like before this, and it was like, "Hey, I'm gonna say this stuff." Like even if I don't, maybe they do, and I don't know this, and I just get worked up as a fan, and it's beautiful, you know. And like, and they just go off it. But at the same time, it's like it's just extremely for how hard we work. It's extremely disrespectful to get the amount of attention he gets for being disrespectful, you know?
He's also a pretty good fighter, too.
He's pretty good, but I believe the matchups he's been given have been tailor-made for his career, and whenever he gets beat up, people are like, "Oh, but you know, this and this and this," you know, whenever he runs away, but this and this and this. But then whenever he wins, even if his opponent takes it on 2 weeks' notice or something like that, they're like, he's the king. He had to fight somebody who had to take it on 2 weeks' notice, but he had to get ready for a completely different fighter on 2 weeks' notice. And it's like you're a mutt. He's a mutt. Just like Dan.
Your Irish accent is poor.
Dude, I'm not doing an Irish accent. That's just average talk. It's just poor. It's just poor stuff.
Now, what do you think the odds are that Alvarez gets flustered verbally and makes an Irish leprechaun or pot of gold joke?
You know, I think at this point, Eddie Alvarez knows, like, just not to say anything, or he'll go the complete other route. I personally, like, if it were me, I would literally just be like, whatever, bro. Like, I would just shut him down and be like, I don't give a shit. I could care less what he says. And it would just be like, you're talking to a wall, so you look stupid, whatever. You know, that's what I would probably do. And eventually, if you would be like, wow, he's just talking and nobody's saying anything back, that's just stupid.
Guys, we have Manny Pacquiao versus Jesse Vargas live viewing party Saturday. You into boxing? You watching that fight? Nobody is.
Probably not.
Yeah, me either. But I'll be in the viewing party. We have a live viewing party for UFC Fight Night 68. We have one for the Eddie Bravo Invitational even.
Ooh.
We got all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff. But, Matt, tell the people where they can follow you and where they can buy that sweet bro
Has
gear.
It already been an hour?
I think it's been our best show.
Wow. Wow, this is getting too easy. Yeah.
I think it's our best show so far.
Yeah, you know, I think we're flapping gums better and better every week.
Yep.
You know? And I got the official setup now for the microphone. I'm all professional.
Look at that.
I feel like Marin from IFC. You ever see his show, Marin? Feel like that guy, but cooler. But yeah.
More cornrows too.
Yeah, you know, I got a lot of other I got a lot going on for me right now. So you know, but yeah, best of luck to everybody. Find me, you know, on Twitter, Riddle Top 7. I think Instagram, I don't know. It's Riddle something, I would imagine.
Like Riddle 170. I tagged you in something.
Yeah, Riddle 170. Matthew Riddle on Facebook. And then, you know, I'm actually on Twitch as well. You can see me stream some video games. If you're into survival horror, at Riddle.
We're going to link to that later too, by the way.
Riddle Bro PWS.
How have you not changed all your handles to Riddle Bro?
Can you?
Yeah, you can change your Twitter handle.
I thought if you changed it, you lost all your followers and they couldn't see what you put.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, bro.
Hell no.
Riddle Bro taking over.
Now somebody's going to register that.
Okay, well, they can. They probably already exist. Riddle Bro's pretty clever.
Riddle Bro. No, there's a Riddle Brook. There's a Riddle Bros web because there's a company called the Riddle Brothers.
Well, I can always add another O. So,
Riddle Brew?
Yeah, bro, you know?
Riddle Bro.
Bro, Riddle Bro.
Hell yeah. Riddle Bro.
I just think I started something.
That's a chant.
That's a t-shirt. Bro, Riddle, bro. Bro, Riddle, bro. It's happening this weekend. It's going to happen this weekend. I'm going to be so over.
Man.
It's going to be so great.
Born right here on the Fightful podcast. You weren't even trying.
Wasn't even trying. You know, that's the thing. That's the thing. You know, I think too many people try too hard, and that's why they fail.
Hot diggity damn.
You know?
Fightful.com. We got all your news updates, wrestling, MMA, boxing. You don't like one of those? Go to Fightful.com/boxing/MMA/wrestling.
Oh, wait, hold on. One thing before we cancel out. Did you see Bill Goldberg go to throw knees on Rusev and fucking botch that shit? The best. I'll tell you this. He can sell a ticket, that man, but he can't work. A match with Brock Lesnar right now is going to be garbage. It's garbage.
So
he's going to get hurt.
He says he hasn't even trained in the ring. Can you believe it?
What, Goldberg says he hasn't trained in the ring?
Said he hadn't stepped into a ring. Bet that shit changed after Monday.
It should have. Oh, my God. He literally threw one knee, fell, and then the jackhammer was – dude, he made Rusev sell 3 knees to the midsection for like 6 minutes and then hit the shittiest jackhammer. And the best part is I see this, and I'm like, oh, my God, that's horrible. I tell my cousin, I tell everybody, you got to watch it. They're like, what are you talking about? They edited the footage on Hulu and everywhere else. And I was like, you sons of bitches. I found it on Instagram. And I was like, I found it. I was like, of course, I didn't read whatever, but I was like, dude, look at this, because, dude, I can't believe it. Can't believe it. Guy can't even throw a knee holding onto somebody's head.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I completely forgot about that. We had a lot to talk about today.
Dude, and that spear to Payman, trash.
Oh, well, a lot of that was on Heyman, man. He just fell over.
Well, dude, he probably saw that knee and got scared. He's like, this guy's going to fucking kill me, man. Dude, Bill Goldberg just all crazy, all don't know what he's doing older. It's all bad.
Oh, man. By the way, guys, next week's show with Matt, we're going to keep it open for everybody, non-members and everything, because we don't want to do a UFC 205 show and then only release it to non-members like the day after.
I'll be in New York for UFC 205. I might be able to weasel my way in the venue. Maybe take a shot at Dana White. No. Get MMA banned for life.
We should have you do an interview with Dana White. That wouldn't be awkward.
Right. That guy, dude, that guy has so much money. He has no time for a guy like me. He doesn't want to talk about me. He doesn't want to look at me. He might piss at me. That's about it.
He might piss at you or hiss at you.
Yeah, or either. There's no way he likes me. There's no way he would even talk to me.
Man, no way.
I don't see it. Have you seen that interview of him on Fox?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I literally, people were telling me about that. I refused.
He said you beat your kids, Matt, and I heard the comment. It was obviously you saying that as a joke.
Coming from a guy that has literally called people nasty things and thinks it's okay, but I make one. Dude doesn't like me. He's trash. Dana White's trash. Don't want to talk to him. I'm
going to be honest,
that's
Matt,
not part of my contract with the Fightful podcast.
You've given me like a week's worth of headlines today.
I'm glad.
A week's worth of headlines. Just saying.
I'm glad. It's a good time. It's always fun talking.
And as I get off of this, I see a headline come across that you spoke to the 2-man power trip of wrestling. Good people over there. Check that interview out as well, guys, if you want more of Matt Riddle.
More, just so much, just lathered in me. If you want to bathe, in Matt Riddle, check that out and catch up. Log on to the Fightful podcast. Sign up as a free member. Check out the content.
Brobath.
That's hashtag
Brobath. Hey, Bro Riddle Bro is happening.
You might want to tweet that now, just so I remember.
I already did. I did that 5 minutes ago.
What?
Matt. Yeah.
Oh hey. That's money. I just gotta think of a logo. The one thing I'm looking for now, I know we're running over, but we gotta think of a logo. Like, well, I do. This isn't your job.
Or a brogo.
A brogo. I need a brogo. The word lingo I got pretty good. You can do so many things. So you can do it with anything, really. But I need like something like the Ralph Lauren pony. I need something iconic, something the symbol. But hey, that's for another Thursday.
It is. Next week, we're talking UFC 205. We're talking all kinds of stuff. Whatever crazy shit happens next week, we're covering. Guys, thank you so much. As always, register, Fightful.com. Free account. If you're a non-member and you want to get shows like this early, register. It's free.
It's free.
Cheapskates. Okay, catch you guys.